Why are so many dogs suffering from health issues? Actress Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. It's called Superfood Complete. Superfood Complete is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including several superfoods vital to your dog's health. Badlands Ranch also sponsors the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, which has helped rescue thousands of dogs and place them in loving homes. Dogs across America are trying this food and experiencing amazing health benefits. Go to badlandsranch.com/save50 and order right now to get up to 50% off your regular price order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible things, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 today.
Shop Plato's Closet tax-free August 2nd through 4th for back-to-school styles. We sell the trendy, gently used styles you need to make a difference in the world and in your wallet for back-to-school shopping. Save up to 70% off regular retail prices by choosing recycled styles. Save even more when you shop tax-free this weekend. Make a change that others can respect and repeat. Shop Plato's Closet in North Charleston and West Ashley this year for your back-to-school looks. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Oh, I hope FTR kissed.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Welcome to Come On Talk, the No Facts, All Feelings Wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Leah.
How are we this week? How are we doing?
I'm so tired. I got back from a trip with me and producer Marjorie went and visited our friend Anna in upstate New York this weekend, but then
fun.
Yeah, I got some delays coming back, so I arrived at like 12:45 a.m. Not ideal. So
not when you want to be getting home from a trip. No.
But yeah.
But I'm glad you had that time away. Did you make them watch any wrestling? Did you watch Collision?
Yeah.
Surely you watch Rampage and Collision, I would imagine.
No, I made them watch Interview with the Vampire.
No, that is correct. That is what you should be doing. Yes.
Actually, they volunteered to watch it. I didn't even push it. They were just like, "Oh, should we watch that?" I was like, "I mean, if you insist, girls."
Twist my arm.
Wow, I love that. And actually, I am like, why haven't I been seeing them bring that up in the group chat yet? I'd love to see them start bringing that up in the group chat.
Yeah,
that's true. We'll see if they listen to this episode and get a little call out up front.
Call out. Well, they may get a different call out from me before then even. But
yeah,
I mean,
time will tell.
Maybe a little public berating. That might be in their future.
Bring out the prisoners. They didn't even tell us that they love our biological sons, the evil vampires. Anne, it is your happiness week, I believe. Are you prepared to share what's making you happy, even as you are tired?
Yes, it's a good thing I had been keeping a running list from the past because I was like, oh, shoot. Normally I realize like a few days in advance and I have time to think, but this week I didn't. But... So what's making me happy is Starbucks has a little summer seasonal summer berry refresher drink. It's the blue drink at Starbucks, and it's so good. It's got little raspberry pearls in the bottom. It's berry flavored. It's refreshing. It's delicious. Huge recommend.
And this is something you did to us because I actually haven't been aware of blue drink until you brought it up, and I exclusively have been a morning Starbucks girl. Like a coffee. But now I'm having a little problem where now in the afternoons sometimes I'm like, could get blue drink.
Could get a little blue drink.
Could get blue drink.
It really perks up your day.
I didn't realize that blue drink was still playing such a such a starring role in both of your lives.
It's unfortunate. It is.
Yep.
It is
Does it-
bankrupting me.
Does it stain the tongue?
No.
Wow, non-staining blue.
Wow, I'd never even checked. Leah really knew it right
You
off.
do sound confident.
Well, I've consumed.
I mean, so have I. It's the drink of the summer. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's. I don't know what's in it because like if you let it sit too long, the blue kind of like fades away anyways. So
Is it that like pea blossom tea or something? It's like the color changing tea that goes from like a pinky red to a blue,
Yeah, I think
like a
so.
purple. There,
Yeah.
I got something. Oh, it was like a really bad drink from Piata. So anyway, well, we don't have time to get into all the drinks we've had, and aside from Blue Drink, which is the star of the show, and what am I supposed to say? And thank you for
sharing your happiness.
thank you. Is it sharing?
Giving your happiness.
or is it just thank you for your happiness?
Thank you for your happiness. That's right.
And thank you for your happiness.
You're so welcome.
Something that didn't make us quite as happy as Blue Drink this week was AEW Wrestling. AEW Wrestling made us a little really annoyed, a little super annoyed, and kind of acting out during the episode with each other.
Yeah, we were a bit of a downer, I think.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
liked it. You know, AEW is a variety show, and different parts of the show are for different people. And I would say this week there was less of the show that was for us. Like
Very little.
very little.
Very little.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of been the case for quite a few weeks now.
Yeah. Yeah, I did lit some intention candles about this, and I'm starting to
damn it.
suspect I might not have magical powers.
Maybe the candles have just expired. Maybe you
Oh,
need
that's
to get
true.
maybe
Maybe I
need to
need
get
new
some
candles,
new
yeah.
candles. Yeah.
You look
Me
at the
too.
expiration date like 2019. Oh no. No wonder my
That's
wishes
why I
aren't
can't
coming
get
true.
anything good to happen on wrestling.
And let me say, that was me with my antibiotic ointment 2 days ago. So
Yep.
we'll always find things in our houses that it's like, oh, I shouldn't be using that. So I've been having some thumb issues, but they're all cleared up now. What are we talking about? Why were we talking about my thumb? Why did my
don't
thumb even
remember.
come up?
So we were like, wrestling is bad. Leah is
Antibiotic.
not a
Oh,
witch.
Expired antibiotic, expired
Yes.
candles.
Yes.
Expired candles. We got it.
Right.
Candles.
We got it.
All right. Well, this is going to sound crazy. The listeners should know that there's a big segment that's getting cut. Because it really sounds like we have more dementia than normal. Because
This was a logical conversation. It's just that Anne and Leah got to hear some stuff about my thumb that you guys won't get to hear. So, and I think everyone's just gonna have to be okay with that. Okay,
Just gonna have to live with it. Sorry, there's some secrets.
you can hear it if you sign up for our OnlyFans.
for the intimacies which can pass only between podcast co-hosts.
Our OnlyFans is just like the most disgusting place in the world. It's just like for all
our medical
gross
problems.
issues.
Oh my gosh! All right, rough week in wrestling. Leah's intention candles did not help. We have lined up all the topics that we think are worth talking about from the week. Some of them may take a little longer than others, but we're going to try and speed run them, and then we're going to play a game. We have a couple of options. We may have to discuss it together at the end of the podcast. I mean, before the game. The game could start way before the end of the podcast.
The game could start in 10 to 15 minutes. We just don't know.
We don't know. It depends on how quick we get through this.
We just don't know, friends. But there will be a game at the end. So we're going to start with what I think, the storyline that I think has the most space here today. Swerve had a sit-down interview with JR on Dynamite this week, in which he laid out Bryan Danielson's case for Wembley on Bryan Danielson's behalf, which I think was very generous of him. We also got a Jeff Jarrett motivation promo redux with some new footage of Bryan Danielson. Probably, if I had to guess, he probably did like a really cool, impassioned job of starting to build this feud. Guys, is that what happened?
everybody said that that's what would happen because when Bryan Danielson really tries, when he decides to participate, well, he's going to blow us away. So
yeah, he's going to say so much stuff about Swerve specifically and the feud and the match. It's going to
be emotions that come up in him and feelings he's having.
In fact, like I think he'll even show that he knows who Swerve is. I think.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. Shall I read, actually, though, a little excerpt of what Bryan Danielson said in this promo?
Oh, please.
Very, very mildly. He says, I was a little bothered because Jeff Jarrett questioned my ability to go all in. I respect Jeff a lot, and I just want to show him that I'm ready. I've got something to prove to him and to everybody else. And then he burst into this big smile, which is crazy, and said, I'm thrilled that Ricky Steamboat is going to be here. He's always been a huge advocate for me. Whoa! It kind of gets it gets the blood racing even just on reading it.
Just when someone says they're a little bothered, it's like, whoa. I mean, this is Bryan Danielson giving like corporate email fury. You know, when you're like, oh, I was a little surprised to see that you didn't alert my department to the fact that you were doing that. Concerns, questions?
This honestly kind of flabbergasted me. Like, it felt like almost pointed. Like, it was just like, so you heard people saying that you're not doing anything to build the feud and you doubled down? Is that what this is?
It's like, again, Jeff Jarrett's the most important person here, for sure.
Bryan Danielson heard the criticisms that he didn't really seem to be that interested in Swerve and felt deeply about Jeff Jarrett, so he decided to do a promo where he only talked about Jeff Jarrett. Cool.
You know, I really didn't like it. I have to say, it kind of pissed me off, especially when, again, it's like you had Swerve do the sit-down interview that I thought he did a really good job with, like, you know, the way that he moved through points. It worked really well. But it's like he's having to do this promo for two people, basically.
Again, this is happening to Swerve.
It's actually really interesting because Swerve is doing such a good job at doing both sides of this feud. Whereas like with Samoa Joe, it's just interesting to see the progression in the last like 6-7 months, where with Samoa Joe, I think he's struggled a little bit more, but now he just seems like so confident and he's telling like a very coherent story for both Bryan Danielson and himself.
You know what I kept thinking when I was just like, rereading the text of the interview, I kept thinking about that episode of 30 Rock where they're trying to get Tracy some therapy, but he's not really connecting with the therapist, and then the therapist is like, maybe let's do a little role play, and then Jack Donaghy ends up playing all three, like his mother, his father, and their neighbor, and it cures Tracy. And I was like, Swerve is giving that energy. Like, if anybody was gonna like get me through a moderately well-realized psychological feud for two just on their own, probably would be Swerve right now. He's making a case for himself.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. But it's just wild how Danielson just doesn't mention or interact with Swerve at all. Like, what is that? It's crazy.
It's like Swerve has had to do this title run on hard mode.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like, he didn't have Hangman. He's got Danielson, who doesn't care, and Samoa Joe, who gave him nothing. So it's like...
Yeah. It's like Christian was good, I guess, but that was 1 month out of the whole thing.
Christian is the only one who stood in the ring with them and said, Swerve, I noticed that you're here. And I have something to say about you.
Swerve, I want to fight you, he said. Like, you gotta give it to him.
I want Kenny to come back and fight Swerve.
Oh my god, I want Kenny to come back so bad.
Well, we can't really reflect on that right now. Do you guys think that I'm right? Was Ricky Steamboat only there so that we could do this TBS like corporate synergy? I mean, I don't know what corporate synergy, but is there some exec who was like, you know what I'd love to see again? It's Ricky Steamboat. I watched him growing up. He's so good. Can we get him back?
I don't know.
Something for the Steamboat to do, right?
Do the Turner execs really care? I feel like it's just for like Tony Khan feeling like nostalgic for
Khan, yeah. He wanted that picture.
Yeah.
Well, but in a suck-uppy way. Then I think I'm still right that it's corporate synergy, where he's like, oh, it'll look really good when we talk about, the long-standing history that TBS has with wrestling. We got yelled at by, people we respect for saying that we don't think that Ricky Steamboat is interesting. So, let's move on. Ricky was on commentary for the Jarrett Danielson main event, which opened with Jeff Jarrett ambushing Bryan Danielson on the ramp, as you do when you're fighting a friend. And they were in the crowd. They're beating each other up. They got a little bloody. They got some chairs out. Danielson won the match. And then Ricky Steamboat came out and raised their arms, and then they embraced because they just, I guess, really love each other because, they've been really good friends for a long time in kayfabe, as you know, and they really care a lot about each other. So they showed that to us, which I thought was really beautiful. I really loved that,
This is killing me because I think Rott actually said something like Jeff Jarrett was getting over on his own, and somehow, AEW fully, dismantled that. And it's right, because that whole faction had started to charm me just in the sense of, they're just lovable fools. And then Jeff Jarrett really did give that very good promo. And so I was like, Jeff Jarrett's okay. And then now I'm just like, if I see that fucking guy one more time, I'm going to lose my shit.
It's crazy. This whole thing made me so mad because it was like Jeff Jarrett comes out of nowhere to be great friends with Bryan Danielson and inspire him, but then he starts this match by smashing him with the guitar, and it's like the vibe of that and the whole match was like these two men, this is a grudge match against people who have hated each other for years, and it's like, bitch, these two didn't know each other before 2 weeks ago, and now you're telling me they're best friends and then worst enemies and then best friends again by the end of the match? Like,
they're
what
just
are we doing?
speed running the movie, Anne. What don't you understand?
Good Lord. It was
really
I don't even know if the match was good or not because I was so irritated.
Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, after they've embraced, Swerve came out and he hit that TBS Legends point, and he cut a promo setting up a match with Bryan Danielson's son, who he remembered that he has, Wheeler Yuta, which I think that's for Dynamite next week, I have to assume. And Bryan Danielson didn't say anything. Did he say anything?
No.
Literally at one point, Swerve was being like, did your body feel good out there, Bryan? Or did it feel really yucky? Did your body feel really messed up and yucky? And Bryan Danielson was just nodding like, it did. It didn't feel good. It felt really yucky out there.
Yeah, he didn't even look mad. It's just once again, Swerve did a great promo. He's really carrying everything on his beautiful back, but good gravy.
I'm worried that, we're not, well, maybe we are. I'm worried that I'm not making even a very coherent, that I'm not even very coherently explaining what I think Bryan Danielson is or isn't doing, because I'm just so flabbergasted by the degree to which he isn't doing it. I just didn't know. I phone it in at my job sometimes, but then when you're in a meeting, you have to, you can't do that. You have to be in the meeting, and, especially if you're presenting. And for Bryan Danielson, it's well, you're presenting. Do you know that? You're sharing your screen right now. And on his screen, there's just, a video of, a cat playing.
He's saying, I really love to be in the moment at the meeting. You're like, Bryan, we're kind of talking about the next product release. That's nice, buddy, but...
Bryan, we're presenting to the shareholders.
I keep thinking that I've missed something, and I keep being like, if I just think this through, I'll make this all line up, and it'll make sense that Jeff Jarrett is both motivating and infuriating Danielson, and also I'll be able to understand how Hangman feels about Jeff Jarrett. And I'll just make that work. And I haven't been able to.
No. And we'll get to it in a minute, some of that Hangman Jeff Jarrett stuff. I mean, I do want to thank, by the way, while we're in the segment, I want to thank our sisters over at Trish and Sarah Pod for answering our question about whether Jeff Jarrett pops a number in the demo, and kind of answering it. And I think what they kind of said was, who could never be sure? Who could ever, their vibe was kind of who's ever looked at his numbers?
No one's ever asked that. Literally, no one has ever
Actually,
showed
the first
interest in
time
that.
that sentence has been said in English.
I think Trisha's response really was kind of like, I didn't know that you could ask that about Jeff. I didn't know you could ask about his numbers. I didn't know you could ask, let alone the idea that I could produce them. So, but to me that says that maybe he doesn't. So,
I mean,
Well, later in the show, I'll be asking you guys a question that I believe Sarah sort of described as revenge.
well, that's terrifying.
honestly, I think we could do a lot with that. I'm excited. I'm excited to find out what we'll have to explain.
Yeah, and for this, I'm excited that Swerve is fighting Yuta. Like, I think that'll be a good match. But I was extremely irritated that it's like they only remembered the BCC existed when they're ready to set this matchup. It's like, I feel like the seams are showing all over the place where it's like, oh, all of a sudden, like, we need to set up this match, so we're going to, like, pretend something has been going on the whole time. It's like, the matches should be like the musical numbers in a musical where they like support and culminate the story. And instead they're like, well, I really wanted to put this Green Day song in here. So we're going to like change the whole story. So like Jeff Jarrett's going to be his enemy for this one segment. And then it'll be back to friends. Like, don't worry about it. It's like, it's bad.
I guess maybe wrestling thinks it's doing like the like kind of a Singing in the Rain thing of like we go into a totally different genre because it is performative and we all know it's performative in a certain way. That's probably what they're thinking, and they're probably thinking of it like that. I just think like, you know, it's like just like as I believe Kenny once famously said on BTS, hold up textbook that says psychology and point at it. Okay, so I just want us to just think about it. Like, it's not, you know, I don't think we're asking a lot. We also on Dynamite last night had a Hangman promo in which he said, there has been one man that I wanted to take everything that I could from him. Some great pauses in here. To leave him with nothing but the ash of his pride. But there have been a dozen other dumbasses that have gotten in my way. And justice delayed is justice denied.
Hell yeah.
Look at me and believe me when I tell you that I will have what I want. Now,
And-
it's nothing to Danielson's promo, of course.
When I looked at him, I did believe him.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl.
It's like one man here is mad, and one man, Bryan Danielson, has never had a feeling in his life.
Never had a feeling that he couldn't
Zen master away.
Yes. And then we got a post-show angle that's also going to overlap with our Toni Mariah commentary, where Jeff Jarrett was giving a backstage interview. Now, this was really strange, actually. Renee said to Jeff Jarrett, she goes, Jeff, you didn't win, but do you think Bryan Danielson is ready for Wembley? And I was like, yeah, well, I thought that's what they said they said that if Bryan Danielson could beat Jeff Jarrett, then he was ready for Wembley. So there's no buts about it, Renee. Right. We went out there, we got the job done.
A really normal way to see if someone is ready for a big match, someone that you want to be ready for the big match, is to book a match where you actively try to kill each other, and it's not just like a respect match. It's literally anything goes. I just think that's really normal.
Yeah, I think it really made sense for the story that Jeff Jarrett was trying to break Bryan Danielson's ankles during the course of the match. Like, yeah.
I wonder, as I wander, what... let me do a little on-air research. How does that sound?
Love that.
We're going to the All Elite Wrestling roster, and we're looking up Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, who is 11-2 singles in 2024. Okay, let's go look at Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is 0-2 singles in 2024. Now, what that says to me is that this is a good guy to test your mettle against before the biggest match of the year. And
I'm actually shocked that Bryan Danielson's record is that good.
Yeah.
I think he has been quite protected. I have to say I don't have very many memories of who he's lost to.
Yeah.
Or why.
Well, and Jeff Jarrett also, in response, he didn't say, yeah, Bryan Danielson's ready for Wembley. He said, well, I feel confident that I've done everything I can. Okay. So it's like, So Jeff Jarrett, you don't think this was good preparation for Wembley? You're like, well, that's all I could do, but I'm just me.
He did beat me, I don't know.
It's like that Powerpuff Girls meme that's like, well, I've done all I can do here. She's like, you didn't do anything.
He's like, well, he did beat me, but it's only me, Jeff Jarrett. That kind of is meaningless.
Jesus. It's just so, I think it's been a while since something was happening in wrestling that every time I thought about it, I had this kind of insane laughter feeling of like, what is that? Anyway, so Jeff Jarrett's getting interviewed, and then Hangman busts in to beat up on Jeff Jarrett, which I'm kind of like, that doesn't make sense. Like, Jeff Jarrett hasn't done anything. Of course, we've been in a little fight with Jeff because of his referee actions, but Swerve is in the building.
Swerve is in the building, and also, like, again, like, Jeff Jarrett was kind of still is a heel. If Hangman had done a thing where he's like, you need to take out Bryan Danielson because then they'll have to give me Swerve. And then he lost Bryan Danielson, and Hangman was like, I have to kill you because you are another person who let me down.
Oh my God.
That would be a normal way to do this.
Instantly. That's crazy.
Give her the damn book.
Wow.
Well, anyway, so then they're fighting, and then Toni and Mariah still fighting from something that we haven't described yet, and that actually maybe we'll just, whatever. Anyway, they're fighting, they come into scene, then they're fighting. So now we have juxtaposed Toni, Mariah, Hangman, and Jeff Jarrett. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing?
I have to stop you. I think it's so clear that Hangman is saying, Jeff Jarrett, I have loved you. I loved you for all this time. I would have done anything for you. You were my daughter. You betrayed me. Like, we can all agree we saw it.
Oh, I guess when you put it that way, yeah. Yeah, actually, now that you've put it that way, that is what I saw. I saw that raw passion between them, that
mother-lover passion, yeah.
That mother-lover passion they just haven't been able to express. Yeah. Amazing. Do you want to talk about what Toni and Mariah were getting up to?
Yeah, let's talk about something that's going to make us happy for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, we've been laughing, so why not be happy? Toni was on Collision this week. She was fighting a jobber with Mariah on commentary, but then as she was coming out, she made a beeline for Mariah instead. They beat each other up for a while, and then on Dynamite, Mariah also fought a jobber. Actually, no, I'm not supposed to say. I don't know who it is. It's someone I don't know, but other people seemed to.
Yeah. I don't know. They basically got used like a jobber, though.
Used like a jobber, yeah. So Mariah beat her up, and then someone gave her a present afterwards. And it was a picture of her and Toni, but then it said "Die Mariah, die" on the back. And then she turned around, and Toni attacked her, and they're fighting, and security intervened. And then again later, after the show, they continued to. I guess they'd escaped security, which I think is very clever of them. And they were still fighting, and that's what you missed on Glee.
Yeah, all four lovers fought. I want AEW to sell me a Christmas ornament that on one side has Toni and Mariah,
oh my God,
like, lovingly cuddling, and on the back says "Die Mariah, die."
That's
fantastic.
Fun.
Yeah,
get us in that merch department,
please.
Yeah. I love that psychological warfare. I mean, these are two women who are telling a coherent and passionate storyline that has made sense the whole way through. You got to give it to them.
You really do. The fact that Toni just keeps she doesn't like shy away from it. I feel like a more typical thing would have been like to turn this into complete like anger and just be like, you must be taken down. But Toni won't back down from like, you hurt me, you pretended to love me, and that's what you're gonna get punished for. Like, you did this to me. Like, she just keeps bringing it back to that, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, seriously.
Wouldn't it be fun if Toni like really cracked during the Wembley match and like murdered Mariah and then had kind of a "look what you made me do" vibe? That's not nothing. Yeah. That's not nothing. They're just doing a really great job. It's like what it's like. It's you get what you want. You get what you want when you watch it on the TV. You do get what you want.
Yeah. You see them, they deliver. You're happy. Like,
Yeah.
nobody
And it
else can say that.
And it makes you excited to see the match that they're going to do at Wembley. It makes me think, wow, when they get their hands on each other for real, that's going to be something I'm interested in.
Absolutely. Excited to see the match, but happy to see everything leading up to it, too.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about something else that just brought us a lot of joy this week. Just a big joy explosion over here. Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly couldn't make it to North Carolina for Dynamite because of Tropical Storm Debbie. So Orange Cassidy had to wrestle up a couple of other men to help him fight Roddy Strong, Roosh, and the Beast Mortos. We have so many men at this company. I bet he found some really, really good ones. No, he didn't. He found FTR. And he wore an FTR shirt out. He came out hiding his chest, and there was just the little tip of one little star poking out above the top of the denim. And I believe it was Anne who said, "Are we not in North Carolina?" And we said, "I'm going to jump from a high window." And then he reveals the shirt, and it's covered with the damned stars.
It's covered in FTR. It's disgusting.
Covered in their repulsive stars. And then the men themselves come out behind, and to make
Wearing
matters
denim
worse, what have they put back on?
Diapers.
The diapers.
Now, in our group chat watch, I did say, and nobody liked it or responded to it, the least they could have done is make OC put on a diaper. At least that would have been something.
Responded to it.
Oh, that's right. You did respond to that. That's right.
I didn't like that.
Right before,
I didn't like it, but I did respond.
Right before recording, one of our friends responded to that now and just said, what would have been good is if OC put the diaper on top of the jeggings.
That would have been good.
That would have been funny.
Surprised our little comedy boy didn't think of that.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, he likes looking good too, though. You know.
He does.
You know.
He does.
Are you guys ready for your question?
Oh God.
From Trish and Sarah?
I'm really scared now.
Yeah.
In the question exchange, the piece of information they would like for us is, do you think that OC gave FTR a friendship bracelet?
Go to hell. That's so rude.
Repulsive.
That's
What a
actually
mean
so
question.
gross and messed up to say. And what I would say is, like, go to timeout. I'd say go to the corner. Go to the corner.
Think about what you've just said and done.
Yeah. It's like, does he deserve that? Perhaps you do want revenge on us for our lighthearted Jeff Jarrett question. But does Orange Cassidy deserve that? He's a hard worker. They make him wrestle every damn week.
Yeah.
He's a narcissist, so...
Okay, Leah, we can't do this. We can't fight in front of the children, our listeners, about this, okay? We will work this out in therapy.
The fact that this week, it's like, there's been nothing for us in these shows the past few weeks. There is one of our faves who still wrestles, and it's little Orange Cassidy. And who did they put him with? Put him with FTR, our biggest enemies. It feels targeted, feels mean.
It is mean. It is like... So feels like Tony is like, I do not want those girls to watch anymore. Mm-hmm. What do I have? I've taken away everything that they love. What can I do? Stop watching.
It's like we're hanging on to, the edge of like a cliff, and he's prying our fingers off one by one.
I'm having a mental image of, like in some kind of like Christmas movie where it's like someone is evil and they're like, I have suppressed the whole, I think I'm thinking of Doctor Who actually maybe, but I've suppressed the whole world and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And then one little voice starts singing like Silent Night. And then everybody's singing Holy Night. Okay, in this scenario, Tony Khan is the evil. He is the evil, and we are the little children, and he takes everything from us, and he says, "You have no joy. There is nothing for you." And then he tries to put, God knows what men he's going to put on our TV, but he puts two of the. This is the end of the world. Actually, let's go really crazy. Okay, he's taken everything. All that's left on Dynamite is FTR, and they are fighting a slow singles match together.
Oh God. It goes on for hours.
They're dancing in their diapers. And Tony looks at us and he says, now there is nothing for the repulsive girls to enjoy. And we bravely think, like, we wish we didn't have to do it. But we start singing Silent Night. And by that we say, let them kiss. Very well, Tony. Is this what you wanted? Is this where you wanted it to end up? There's nothing else, so fine. Oh, I hope FTR kiss. Are you happy now?
Allie, I think I'll be cutting that for the cold open. It'll just be Allie saying, I hope FTR kisses.
Yes. Are you happy?
No. only if you put in the sound effect like, I bet you're wondering how we ended up here.
That would be really funny.
Anyway, I don't know.
Wow.
It's like, this is fucked up. I just don't understand. It's like, you know, when Lucy hold the football for Charlie Brown and he go to kick it and she pull it away. We're at a point where it's like she pull it away and then she throw it in our face. She throw it in our nose.
Yeah.
She hit us with the football.
I would say that, like, if OC did give FTR a bracelet, it is like he's in the period of his life where he's just sleeping with the worst men possible to try to drive his broken heart.
Wow.
That is what he'd do during his slut summer. Oh my God.
He's trying
He's
so
like,
hard. He's trying Mark Briscoe. He's trying FTR. Will anybody
his friends
heal
are gone.
him?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by standard CW TV show rules, that means this isn't going to get fixed until September. That show's not coming back till after Labor Day, baby.
That's rock bottom. That's when you hit rock bottom so hard you like drilled farther deeper into it when you're giving friendship bracelets to FDR.
Oh, God in heaven. Anyway, Dax got the pin. He always does. He actually fucking always does for some reason.
I was so mad about that because he got it on Roosh, and I was like, don't even touch Roosh.
That's so sick.
It's
disgusting.
Sick. Why couldn't you pin Roddy Strong? It's not like Roddy Strong matters anymore. Roosh could. I think that Roosh could absolutely crush both FTR without even trying.
To be honest, Leah, I thought you were going to say I think Roosh could smite FTR, and I was ready to enthusiastically agree. I'm like, yeah, that man is a smiter. He is a very powerful demigod.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Why does Tony Khan want to kiss Dax on the mouth so bad all the time? They're
It's so
mouth
gross.
kissing in front of me. It's just disgusting.
Close the door. Just do it. Just do it in private.
What adults do behind closed doors is their own business, but with the rest of us, I don't want to see it.
You're doing it in the ring, basically. Anyway. What can we say? So then the Acclaimed came out because they also they came out to see FTR in Collision, and they're fighting about which of them gets to fight the Bucks. And for once, Manolo pointed something out that's pretty reasonable, where he's like, but the Bucks aren't here, so that's weird. And I said, bitch, I fucking agree.
This also felt insult to injury. It's like, okay, so OC's match now has been taken over by FTR giving a promo on the Acclaim for a match with the Bucks. Like, just rub my face further into the dirt.
I couldn't stop thinking to myself, I'm getting goofed on. Yeah. I'm getting they are fucking goofing on me with extreme prejudice.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Awful. It's genuinely awful. I really do feel targeted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole episode, just
I think
unbelievable.
You know how Elon Musk wants to sue advertisers for choosing not to advertise on Elon Musk's X.com? I think that I should be able to, if he can, just because he's rich, he can say he's going to sue people for stuff like that. I will sue Tony Khan for not entertaining me. He'll say, I have no legal obligation to entertain you. Yes, you do. I just decided that you do.
When you have a cable show, don't you have some
certainly
fiscal
a moral
responsibility?
Obligation. Fiscal responsibility, that's a good one, Ann. And I know that the WB has been, WBD. The WB, unfortunately, long gone, but WBD has been very fiscally responsible, famously, so they probably take that seriously.
Tony says something about, he's like, well, we used to have 2 hours, and now I have 5 hours of TV to book. Every single time he says that, I'm like, and yet you bravely decided to not make not one of those 5 hours entertained.
He said, it's like, what if you book 2 hours? Well, that would be nice.
He said, no, the real trick is that you book 5 minutes of every hour well. That way they have to show up to every hour seeking those 5 minutes. This man is trying my last GD nerve. So I don't know. I guess FTR and Manolo. I guess FTR and the Acclaimed and the Bucks will fight at Wembley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I can't do this anymore. I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. Anyway,
ridiculous.
Speaking of men not showing up to work, Darby, well, he shows up quite a bit actually, but Darby cut a promo on Dynamite asking the same question about Jack Perry. So he said, last time Jack and I were in the ring together, everybody asked why I didn't just light him on fire and end this whole thing. It's simple. He'd had every excuse not to show up at Wembley. TNT champion, I didn't even know the last time you were on TNT. You don't have to sacrifice any more of your time, Jack. You don't even have to show up to Rampage this Friday when I wrestle. You don't even have to show up on Collision. But you've got to show up at AEW All in London. Okay, is that all you need from me? Yeah, okay, I'll be in my dressing room. So, it's fine. I'm not mad at Darby. It's just like...
No, but...
I know. I think some people were, because, like, I do think it's kind of lazy to repeat, like, punk-type talking points, like he doesn't show up to work on Saturdays. Like, I could be done with, because I just don't find that an entertaining topic. But I also feel like, I fucking love JB, and I think he's come back like perfectly. And obviously I love Mommy's Little Elite, but I have to listen on the truth serum that is our podcast. I have to admit, they're not giving like Darby a lot to work with here. Like, no. I mean, what is Darby supposed to say about JB? Like, there's like JB isn't like I think we're gonna. Well, let me finish the rest of this after we talk about JB's promo.
Well, it's just really quickly. JB did get a promo. He did kind of a Darby style art film. So I do think it's weird that they've completely swapped like normal promo styles, but I think it's kind of sweet because I imagine them like planning them together and being like, what if I do it like you would do it, but then you do it like I would do it. And he was like in like a Mr. Universe like million like TV basement, like grunge perv basement. I created kind of a world for myself about it. And then the promo did on the live broadcast got interrupted abruptly by a Taco Bell ad, and then it came back to the promo, and then back to another Taco Bell.
The incredible comedy of him saying the line, "What would you give for whatever he said?" And then like it was like $7.
The scapegoat presented by Taco Bell.
But
go ahead, Leah.
Sorry, this, so he's looking at all these TVs, watching angles of him almost getting lit on fire.
Yeah,
but he was just saying like nonsense, which to be honest, like I don't mind when people say nonsense a lot of the time. But Darby really needed him to say something that he could respond to, and like I mean, honestly, like he could have been like, I'm mad at Matt Jackson for giving in because I could have withstood the burning or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or he could have been like, I feel bad because someone else had to rescue me. Someone else had to give in and I'm not going to be that stupid. Like he could have said something that indicates how he felt about that would then give Darby something to say back. But because he said nonsense, Darby kind of said nonsense, then we're all doing nothing.
Do you think like... Here's another thing where it's like we might have some kind of like legal case that we could press. If you've been in a situation where a man almost set you on fire and then you need to have a TV promo response to it where you communicate like a high intensity anger, like passion, is it legal to not like kind of say like, you didn't light me on fire, but like inside you did. You know what I mean? Like to not be like, but the fire is that you never lit the match, but the fire is in me. You know, like I'm like, I would do it if I were wrestling. I'd probably do it, and people would be mad at me, but I'd say like, but real ones get it.
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah. Well, and Darby's always struggled with like the content of his promos. Like his delivery is like fine, but yeah, like he's always out there saying dumb shit, to be honest. And then it's just crazy how much all of the elite have just been put on ice for the last like 2 months or whatever. It's like, what is going on?
For what? For what
Why?
did we do this? It's not like everybody said it was because of Forbidden Door, but Forbidden Door was in June.
Forbidden Door was in June. I mean, it is making me feel like I'm like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand what's happening backstage, because this kind of goes into the next topic as well, with the thing with like, so Britt has been kayfabe suspended, or had been kayfabe suspended by the EVPs to like for Mercedes, but then on this week's Dynamite, Tony Schiavone was like, actually, like Christopher Daniels called Tony Khan, and Tony Khan said that she's unsuspended actually, so we can show a video from her. And it was like, are we still doing a storyline here? Like, is it still a like power struggle storyline? Like, why did we just completely drop like any exploration of like, this is what the elite like are doing and why, and this is what they want and why, and this is, Tony doesn't want them to have it. So like I'm not asking for it to be super realistic, like some people really wanted it. They just were like, well, I don't think that he would be able to whatever. Anyway, I don't think they could do that. I think I'm getting really incoherent, but like we just dropped it. And so now instead we're just not using them at all, and they don't have any motivations, which I know they are capable of communicating.
Yeah.
They're some of the most capable men at communication.
Right.
And so then other people also don't have anything to work with, which I don't blame them for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's incredibly difficult because they're the ones with the belt. So it's like, if they're not there, then a lot of these storylines feel cold. You know what I mean? Where it's like, JB kind of has to be out there being very annoying with his belt.
Being
so
bad.
that then you root for Darby to take it from him.
Yeah.
The Bucks have to be out there with the fucking belt, waving them around, shoving in people's faces so that, theoretically, not me, but other people might be rooting for somebody to take it away. Like, that's basic wrestling, right? Like,
yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's not even like us booking a CW show. Like, that's normal stuff.
Just like, I should see the belt holders from time to time. Yeah, and like, it's just been so bizarre. And instead we're watching like FTR and the Acclaimed give a promo on each other. And it's like FTR says the exact same 3 sentences every time. And this is nothing. Like, why am I being subjected to all this?
Yeah.
Like, I was remembering today, like, how I was feeling very optimistic in the spring, where I was like, things are, like, really cooking, and I think we're going to get in a good place, and then it just all disappeared for no reason.
That's what drives me crazy, is I'm like, JB came back with so much, like, buzz and, like, people excited and ready to see what he's going to do next. Everybody was, like, losing it, and the Acclaim's new gimmick was huge. Everybody was loving that, and everyone was responding exactly like, it was huge. And then it was like, it just went away.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on back there, but it is infuriating to basically, it's like we have all the pieces. So all we have
Mr. Policeman, you have
Mr. Policeman has got every single damn clue. We can put them together and we can put on the best Zodiac Killer murder mystery musical of all time, Mr. Policeman. And that every week it's just like, oh, we're just not going to use those pieces this week. Let's, and I say this, I think, we already talked about it. I say this with, Orange Cassidy is my sweet boy. He is my child. He is my lovely little boy. Why have I watched the conglomeration have, I think, maybe the exact same match every week for 3 months, but gotten no interesting week-to-week movement on storylines where I'm like, you've actually got some beautiful diamonds here. Do you want them set in a tiara? And they're like, we keep them in a bag. We like to keep those in a bag in the closet, actually. Nasty little grimy bag.
I wish I thought that they were telling a, like, slow-paced, slow-burn story of, like, OC slowly going fucking
Me
into
too.
like a catatonic
Me
like
too.
slump in the back and no one notices. Like, dude, that would be it would be so fun for him just to be like, y'all ever think about death? Mark Briscoe is just like screaming about like whatever turkey farm.
Chickens.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's slumped over in the coma. Some cruel magician takes advantage of him, hypnotizes him. He's been Winter Soldiered. He instead of a Dark Lord, you would have Orange Cassidy, and he is really bad. And only love can save him. After maybe someone that he loves gets a fucking surgery on his ankle.
I mean, I know that like hindsight's 2020, but considering Greg got hurt, it probably would have made much more sense storyline wise if Don Cassidy is what I just said. Don Callis had like managed to like sway him, and so then he's then Orange Cassidy was just a crazy angry heel until Greg came back with Dustin, and the two of them together
That would have been
fixed
good.
OC.
Yeah.
I like when I think about that. You know what I had to hear Tony Schiavone say this week?
What?
OFTR. An amazing first outing from OFTR. I said, go fucking, I'm going to puke. I'm going to pull the car over. I'm going to throw up.
Doesn't so much of the show lately feel like they're just trying to fill time? They're like, we got an hour. Like, can we just throw some matches together?
Yeah.
Like, conglomeration. You guys get out there. And it's like, what are we doing?
I know that last night was booked on the fly because of the storm, but what's the explanation for every other
Yeah,
week?
for the last 3 weeks before that. Seriously.
If I ever see OTR again, I swear to God, I'm going to fucking lose my mind.
It's inappropriate.
That can't be happening.
OC seems to be out there being such a good sport, and he'll get along with anybody and play, do a little match with anybody, but I think he should stop it.
Yeah.
It's not right.
I agree. Be more exclusive. You're worth it.
Yeah.
Know your
Believe
worth.
in yourself. Yeah.
Orange Cassidy, you don't have to give your special gift to everybody who asks you for it. You every time you give your special gift to a man who doesn't deserve it, it diminishes it a little bit. You have to save it for people that count, who will cherish it, who will take care of it.
Orange Cassidy like a chewed up wad of gum right now. Like a glass of water everybody's drinking out of.
Get fucking canceled for these jokes. We're gonna get canceled as hell.
That was just a little good fun to everyone out there listening. Didn't mean any of that. Well, I did mean that he shouldn't wrestle with FDR.
Morning radio DJ vibes for Anne who forgot that the mic was hot.
It's a hot mic. It's a hot mic.
Sorry about that, everybody. We'll get back to your regularly scheduled commute now.
Listen, I would just like to say that I'm a sex positive feminist for everybody except
right.
Orange Cassidy.
Oh my God.
I support Orange Cassidy doing whatever he wants with his body.
Yeah.
It's his choice.
His body,
No.
his choice. His body, his choice. His body, his
my choice.
It's a woman's right to choose, actually.
It's right to choose.
We're moving on. We're moving on. That's quite enough of this. Mercedes and Britt. The only thing that I really want to talk about, I don't even want to get into any of this deep stuff. I want to ask your opinion on something.
Okay.
So Mercedes had her enforcer, Camille, in the ring with her, right? Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, I saw somebody that I won't name on a Twitter personality being like, it's so crazy to me that she apparently won't listen to anybody about not wearing those shoes when she's doing segments with Camille. And I was like, what on earth does that mean? And then I found out that there was a whole ongoing conversation where some people are like, she can't wear heels when she's with Camille because Camille needs to look like much bigger than her because that's the enforcer like archetype that she's doing. And it's messed up that Mercedes like just laughs at people who say that. And I was like, I don't know if it's gay vision, but if you can't look at those women and see that one of them is the sexy fucking hulking hunk bodybuilder, like warrior, and that the other one is her beautiful, perfect, also great warrior princess, I simply don't know what to tell you. It's like,
Yeah.
it's there. It has nothing to do
Yeah.
with shoes, and they're doing it fine.
Yeah, it's a Rottweiler sitting next to a standard poodle. Yeah, they're the same height, but they're not built the same.
The same.
We're fine.
True. Yeah.
I felt, to be honest.
Sometimes wrestling fans are like, "Oh, this was too complicated. I couldn't get it." I'm like, "You're stupid."
I know. Well, and I'm just like, I think you guys can attest that, like, in the middle of watching, not knowing about any of that, I just said, oh, I love when there's a big, beautiful protectress standing behind the girl she loves.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's maybe it's just for gays, but trust me, some of us can see it just fine. Doesn't really matter.
This is like Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker weren't like drastically like different. Like, in fact, I think Britt was taller than Jamie Hayter, and yet
right, yeah.
I fully was like, and Jamie Hayter is her muscle.
It's about the energy that the person is bringing.
And honestly, like, Chris Statlander was the muscle for OC
Yeah.
and Chuck Taylor, and I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in that case, helped by, like, Dustin's palpable vibe of, thank God, if something needs lifting, you can do it.
Why are so many dogs suffering from health issues? Actress Katherine Heigl, who's helped save over 16,000 dogs through her foundation, says she's seeing more issues with dogs' joints, odors, and health than ever before. And after doing a ton of research, she feels there's one place we can look to support any dog's health: their food. So she decided to create something she could actually feel good about feeding her dogs. It's called Superfood Complete. Superfood Complete is made with over 30 of the healthiest ingredients on the planet, including several superfoods vital to your dog's health. Badlands Ranch also sponsors the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, which has helped rescue thousands of dogs and place them in loving homes. Dogs across America are trying this food and experiencing amazing health benefits. Go to badlandsranch.com/save50 and order right now to get up to 50% off your regular price order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you want your dog to experience all these incredible things, go to badlandsranch.com/save50 today.
Have you seen Chuck Norris lately? He's still kicking butt and staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he looks more jacked than ever and seems to have more energy than guys half his age. And it's all thanks to Morning Kick, a revolutionary new daily drink from Roundhouse Provisions that combines ultra-potent greens like spirulina and kale with probiotics, prebiotics, collagen, and even ashwagandha. Just mix with water, stir, and enjoy. Unlike other green drinks out there, this one tastes exactly like strawberry lemonade and has hundreds of 5-star reviews. Go to roundhouseprovisions.com/save44 for up to 44% off your regular priced order. Plus, every purchase is backed by a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to experience smoother digestion, a boost of energy, and just an overall healthier body, then go to roundhouseprovisions.com/save44 today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Results can vary.
Okay, and then I think our final thing that we could just briefly touch on was just that MJF and Kyle Fletcher opened Dynamite, and I guess MJF had, like, locked Ospreay. Well, he, like, shoved some stuff in front of a door so that Ospreay couldn't get out of his dressing room, which is a little funny because I was like, seems easy, probably because you have so many muscles.
Especially the thing was on wheels, so he did a really good acting job where he was
did. He did. But then
away.
Even in kayfabe, I was kind of like, maybe he forgot how to turn the doorknob. And that just forgot how a door works.
It'd be really funny to have a little segment where MJF, like, puts stuff in front of the door, but it's on wheels, and so Ospreay just kind of opens the door normal, and it, like, goes flying. It's like, well, that didn't work. Back to the old drawing board.
It's a little Coyote Roadrunner vibe there. That would be fun. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, so MJF won this match, and Ospreay's trying to get out to Kyle, and then MJF like diamond ringed Kyle, and then he was going to, I believe, brainbuster him, a word I just shouldn't have to say as an adult woman. Nor should I have to say the sentence MJF grounded and pounded Kyle. Manolo, we really need to have a private conversation about some of the things you said this week, because is it a family-friendly website or not? Okay.
Genuinely, if you told me that a genuine porno writer was like masquerading and had like a little game with himself, like how many like phrases can I get in before someone calls bullshit? What was the one I pulled earlier?
It was the Kyle Fletcher. Is it in here? It's the one where it's like so and so. Oh no, it's Kyle O'Reilly. No. Someone had a train run him. No. Matt Haven was victim to a train.
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
You can't write that, Manolo. Jesus.
Oh, no. That was the one that you pulled out. The one that I pulled out was the Acclaimed were nutting all over FTR.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Hello?
They did.
What are we doing here? What does that even mean in a
crazy.
wrestling sense? It doesn't.
Well, it's that they had to nut up or shut up, so they nutted all over FTR.
Oh my god!
And
This is a man who's like, no one even reads these recaps. Like, what am I doing it for? And he's trying to see how long it'll take before an editor is like, dude, nut it all over. And it's like, but it's only going to Allie. Allie's the only reader.
And I'm never gonna write to his editor. I'm not Karen. I'm not gonna write in and say like, I don't think he should be paid to do this. It's amazing he is. Anyway, whatever. Then Ospreay comes out and he's like, Kyle, my love. And he's cradling him in his arms, so sweet. And MJF is like, fuck you. I think that's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah, and then did you end up watching their
I didn't get to see it.
Totally fair. I'm gonna make you guys listen to me retell it because I fucking loved it. So they're backstage and Kyle's like still bloody and they're sitting on amps together and Kyle's like, hey Ospreay, why won't you use the Tiger Driver? It seems like maybe you could do some big winning because you used to win and now you don't win no more. So maybe, do you think you could use that move sometimes? And Ospreay got mad and he said, Kyle, I almost killed somebody. You don't know what it's like to almost have blood on your hands.
To almost have blood on your hands.
They had the funniest stupid boy combo conversation I've ever heard in my entire life, where they just, Ospreay was like, you don't know what it's like. I thought I killed that man, and I don't ever want to feel like that again. And Kyle was like, I just think that if you won, it would help with your bad feelings.
That is that reminds me of like, I'm 3 years older than my brother, and that my vibe growing up at every age was like, you'll understand when you're older. I think the one, I have a really clear memory of one time I was reading Pippi Longstocking when we still shared a room, and I was laughing, and he said, what are you reading? Why is it funny? And I said, you'll understand when you're older.
This isn't for little boys. This is for grown ladies. Pippi Longstocking.
Too sophisticated.
That's like Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Kyle's like, can you tell me why it's bad to use the move? And Ospreay just goes, you'll understand when you're older. I love them, and I love that it's the proverbial two brain cells, and they're just trying to get in the same room so they can rub together and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the promo ends because Don Callis comes out of nowhere and he goes, hey, Will, thanks for taking care of him, but this is family business. And he kind of elbows Will out of the way so that he could sit down next to Kyle. And you just see the shot of Will Ospreay over Don Callis' shoulder, like, aw, but I want my friend.
Oh my God.
This is my favorite.
Wow.
I'm kind of, you know how we watched the entire MXM, a fact that we know now.
No.
We watched that entire match while not registering that there was anybody else in the feud. Sometimes I'm like, I'm really enjoying this Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher feud that no one else is in.
I forgot that during this match, Don Callis tried to give Kyle a screwdriver so that he could cheat with MJF, and that Kyle had the big, like, you know, classic face moment of being like, could I do it? Could I use it? Like, no, I'm better than that. But unfortunately, after the couple of weeks that we've had, I was just screaming at the TV like, no, we're not doing when they go low, we go higher anymore. We're going low.
It is really like the worst possible time for MJF to be doing a jingoistic American heel situation, because I've never felt more patriotic in my life than I have the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God, I know. To do it just as we all re-enter the political conversation, being like, wait, maybe we can make it out of this. Maybe we've got one last performance in us. Okay, that's got to be, and that's it. And look, that was basically a full hour, but we got to play a game, right?
We gotta play a game for our health.
Got to play a game. Should we do random tag team tourney game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys take a look at the spreadsheet I made? Because I really got pretty into it.
I opened it and was like, oh, wow, you really did.
Dude. I did some stuff, because what I did was, so I took out any man who was in, I took all the, okay, the game that we're going to play, guys, is that we keep saying we have no tag team division anymore, apparently. They're all gone. And a few weeks ago, I want to say, we said that Tony should take all of his unmarried gentlemen and put them in a hall together and then just do chemistry testing, and let's gin up some new tag teams. So we're going to do a random generator. Oh, my friends are clicking around in there as we speak. We're going to do a random generator of just two random men. And we're going to talk about whether we think they could make it work as a tag team, maybe talk about what kind of a gimmick they could have, what the dynamic would be. If we could come up with a name, that would be great too. And what I've done with the list is I got rid of anybody who was in a tag team that I thought was unbreakupable. So, of course, you're not going to be finding any Matt and Nick Young Buck in here.
No.
But, and what else did I get rid of? No, nothing else. Because then what I did was there are some tag teams, younger tag teams, like your Dante, your Darius, Top Flight, your Private Party. I left them in here, not because I want to break them up, but because I said it's not impossible that we could stumble onto an absolutely dynamic new situation for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to break you up, guys, okay? But I just left you in the mix. And then I left in all of the single men who are currently out of action, either for behavioral or for physical reasons. And we can decide if we want to skip them when we get to them. And then another thing that I did was that I realized some of these people I got to them, like Cool Hand Ang and Daddy Magic, and I was like, well, they don't even wrestle here anymore. I haven't seen those men in years. And then I found out they're in ROH. And so I marked some of the guys who are wrestling the hell out of their lives on ROH, and we don't ever see them anymore. And that's just something to keep in mind.
I was a little startled to see some of them listed as ROH, because I was like, oh, is that what happened to them?
Yeah, dude.
Men just disappear. It's like I'm in a horror movie, you know?
They heard Tony Khan saying to Athena, like, no, you're on TV. Look at all the cameras. And they were like, cameras over there? Yeah, sure. I'll do it. Okay. Are you guys ready?
So ready.
Yeah.
Let's find some tag teams. Okay, Malachi Black and Brody King is not going to work for me, brother. We've already got it. We've actually already got it.
We actually seen too much of it.
I wish that this dating game generator showed us the same names. Because when you guys just like major reacted, I was looking at Chuck Taylor and Mark Quinn.
Oh.
And that's not a no from me.
That's not a no. Yeah.
That's not a no. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I have Adam Copeland and Anthony Bowens.
Oh.
Face
I'd be
gaze.
interested. Yeah.
Face.
I said face gaze.
Do you want to expand on that, Leah?
I think I've said what I've meant.
You said what you were going to say. I'm not sure that I immediately feel like there's going to be a dynamic central. Like,
No,
what do
because
they have? What brings them together? You know,
their
They do,
vibe
like-
is kind of like we both have crazy exes. Oh my god, this is the
Oh,
Louis
okay.
and Armand.
Yeah.
Like
You think that Cope is gonna, spoiler, I won't say, the season just came out. Go check it out. It just came out on Netflix, I bet. Probably. About now. I'm really only on here to shill for Interview with the Vampire.
You guys, you shouldn't be watching wrestling. You should only be watching Interview with the Vampire.
Nice. Go fucking watch Interview with the Vampire.
But don't you think it's like, oh, like, you know, I used to date someone crazy and I hated it. I'm ready to have like a cool, calm partner, but they're both
a really
like,
healthy relationship.
This is so boring. I miss when we did crazy stuff.
Anthony Bowens isn't going to know what to do with himself when he doesn't have a little Max Caster mess to be cleaning up after every 5 seconds. Although, actually, I could see Adam Copeland, I could see a little dynamic where Adam Copeland at the beginning is being like, this is so cool because we both got our heads on straight. We just want to, we want to win, we want to respect other guys, and we want to do the best wrestling we can. And then, like, 2 months in, Anthony Bowens suddenly is just like, he's insane. He's actually insane, and he has been really misleading me about it because he doesn't even know how insane he is.
Anthony Bowens is like getting slow boiled into like he's wearing weird things and like he's eating too much protein powder, you know, or like not enough protein powder. Like all his everything's out of whack. Yeah.
Adam Copeland's like, it's so good that we are both sensible people. Now let's lay out this match for each other. Should we bring live tigers?
And when Anthony Bowens looks a little confused, he's like, what, you've never brought live tigers to the ring? Like, okay, I thought you were an experienced wrestler. And Anthony Bowens is like, oh, okay.
I thought you were cool, but I don't want to pressure you in anything. Okay, I think that works for me. Should we try another?
Yeah.
Let's, maybe at the end of each one, we should say, like, would we book it or not?
Yeah. And is it like it would be better than the FTR acclaimed match we're getting with the Bucks? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah, it would be better.
I would prefer Anthony Bowens and Adam Copeland at Wembley more than the acclaimed or FTR.
Not least because if Big Cope could fight at Wembley and this is somehow the tag team he ended up in, I just know Christian Cage is coming out during that match. He's not going to be able to stand watching his ex-lover, whom he's still obsessed with, fighting side by side with another man. I doubt it. He's going to be coming out.
So sad he broke that leg again, because if they had a Wembley match, those two, like, oh boy, I'd be engaged in something.
I was going through it earlier. I just kept remembering and saying to myself, like, I can't believe he got hurt. It would all be different if Big Cope were here. It would all be different. Okay. Oh, God, I refuse to do that one. Okay. Well, I guess it's Nick Comoroto and MJF is what I have.
Huh.
Now, they weren't... No, because Nick Comoroto was in QT's Sopranos gimmick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he and MJF have never been in a...
I don't think I've seen them interact. No. Yeah, it's sort of interesting. Like, I feel like MJF in any tag team would be an improvement on what I'm experiencing from MJF now. So it's like, I'm not opposed. It is hard to imagine what that vibe would be.
MJF generally does do well at having, like, a random muscle beside him. So I'm, like, fine. Like, I think it would be fine, but I don't think that Nick Comoroto is going to do anything electrifying, I'd say.
Yeah. It's true. I wish that he were another kind of slightly dim nothing of a man, because it did just occur to me that we had an MJF like friendship storyline, and that didn't really end as good as we all wanted it to, as satisfying. But maybe the next thing we try is MJF get a kind of a dim minion who you don't respect at first, but then you start to love in spite of yourself. Not even because you find out they're smarter than you thought. You just kind of like them. Exactly the weird, dumb, beefy way they are.
The Kronk thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just a sweet Kronk.
If MJF's heart got wormed into by, like, some idiot he doesn't respect, I mean, I think it could really open up some doors for him. I think it could be personality growing.
It would be fun. And it's like, he would be, like, somebody who won't mind that MJF is, like, at first is kind of, even when he starts to realize, like, I like you, he's just kind of like, not as your own person, as an extension of me. But then, you know, like, Nick Comoroto, I don't think I'm going to book this, but Nick Comoroto could have kind of a vibe of, like, I don't even know what those words mean, but did you want me to beat someone up? Okay. Is anyone going to book it?
Yeah, that might be worse than the acclaim.
It's more unknown. at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have Christian Cage and Commander. Now, this... What if, immediately on there, because we just were talking about Cope, let's put this in the same universe, okay? So Tony Khan does open tag team auditions. Cope and... Who did we put him with?
Anthony Bowens.
They decide. They're like, we think we have some chemistry. We think this could work. Christian is watching, seething, and he just looks around for the first cute young man he can find and says, I think we have some chemistry.
He's like grabbing Commander by the shoulders, and then he just keeps looking over at Cope like, yeah, Commander, you have so much promise. I really feel a deep connection to you. And he like shoots a look over at Copeland.
And he keeps being like, I feel very strongly. We are closely bonded, but he can't remember Commander's name, and he keeps being like, me and the General are very strong together.
me and Admiral have done some great work here, I think.
I think if we assume that we're booking both of those, I would book this for sure.
Yeah. I would book this feud. Yeah. I think make each other jealous feud is just what these guys need, to be honest.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. If we don't get a little of that when Big Cope comes back, it'll really be all over for me.
Yeah.
It'll be over for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I've got Pac and Dante Martin here.
Dante Martin can't withstand that.
He's not thriving in that situation.
But it's
so
interesting
scared all
because
the
it's
time.
like Pac, like if you do something where like Pac is reeling because he's lost the Lucha Brothers and he's so distressed and he's just like looking for anybody who can have his back, and Dante's like, but what are you gonna ask from me? And Pac's like, nothing. Like, just fight this man with me. And Dante's like, but aren't you gonna like sell me for Bitcoin? And Pac's like, no. And so like by accident, Pac is like teaching Dante like self-esteem to be like,
oh,
you could just fight people because you like fighting. You don't like, it's cool.
He's doing the opposite of what Cope's doing with Bowens, where he's like, he's normal. He's like, no, that's weird. Why would anyone do that?
Yeah.
And Dante's like, oh, it's weird.
Oh God, maybe they were weird.
Oh, I think that was crazy what happened to me. And Pac's like, yeah.
I also think that it's like I could see a little bit of a gruff dynamic where Pac is just like, Dante Martin, you're here. I need someone to fight with me. I have no friends anymore because they took all my friends away from me. I'm dry as hell. My hair is a cloud around my head, and he's just like, you ring now. And Dante is just like, okay, I just do what I'm told. I will just do what I am told. And then he's just kind of like accidentally like, well, I think me and Pac are friends now. And Pac has never thought that once. He's like, you were convenient and now you are my default because I have no other friends. I have nobody else in my life. I don't know love.
And for some reason in this world, like Dante and Darius have had like a really minor fight, but like Dante has been like, well, I can do this without you. So he just keeps like saying to like Darius, like, me and Pac are going to go see a movie later. Like, I know that you don't want to go see a movie with Pac. Pac's like,
Pac gets really angry during the movie, but then it turns out that it's because he's sad because it reminded him of Penta and Phoenix. And he doesn't know how to express emotions normally. So he's just really mad. He's just like really angry in the car. And Dante goes, Mr. Pac, are you okay? And Pac goes, I have a tummy ache. Nasty tummy ache.
they're watching Challengers, and Pac stands up and starts throwing popcorn at the screen and is like, I think Zendaya should have chosen both of them. Why can't 3 people be happy together?
2 of those people shouldn't go off by themselves.
That's terrible.
3 people can be happy together if only a billionaire doesn't drive 2 of them away. Now I have one here that I think this is given some of today's online conversations, I think it's a good one, and it could open up some real interesting storylines. It is Brandon Cutler and Kota Ibushi.
So Kota Ibushi hasn't been put down like a dog, you're saying?
No, we let him live because he goes to the auditorium for chemistry testing day, and he just has such a nice time staring into Brandon's eyes. And Brandon doesn't know that that's what they're supposed to be doing. Like, he's like looking around kind of like other people are talking and fighting and stuff, but Kota is just looking into his eyes, and Brandon goes, I really don't want to get in trouble with the Young Bucks. So he stares back, and they New York Times 30 questions to fall in love each other. Kenny's not gonna like that when he gets back.
Kenny's not gonna like that at all. Like, when Brandon of all people has stolen Kota's heart.
I would be so happy for this feud where the Young Bucks end up facing down Kenny and being like, Brandon is our friend, and he's allowed to love Kota Ibushi if he wants to.
Kenny, love is love.
Kenny's like, I know love is love. Love is what I have with my true love, Chris Jericho.
Oh my God, it sends him right back into Chris Jericho's arms. And Chris Jericho is like, I have many more arms. For now, I am a tree. And each limb of the tree is an arm. Kenny said, I really thought it was going to be a monogamous situation.
Imagine the Wembley match that's the Young Bucks versus Brandon Cutler and Kota Ibushi. I think that's the kind of high-level wrestling that people will really get stoked for.
I think that is a match, like, if you proposed it on the internet, I think you could unite so many parts of the IWC, and they're all angry at you at one time.
Absolutely.
I just feel like you'd be
everybody be
death
so
from
mad,
so many angles.
But honestly, emotionally, it'd be a great little setup for those four.
It would be fun, and I think in a perfect world for me, what I would do is I would have, like, the match starts, and the Young Bucks' vibe is like, the entity that is the Young Bucks is just like, well, come here, Brandon, let's get this over with. And Brandon, for the first time in his life, as a loyal servant, looks at them and is like, I'm too scared. And he just says, I'm sorry. And leaps out of the ring. And most of the match is like Kota and Nick fighting or something, and Matt Jackson just chasing Brandon around Wembley, being like, you get back here now, Brandon. You are never going to have a job in this house again. And Brandon just keeps going, I'm sorry.
Matt stops towards the end of it and goes, I'm going to count to 3. And if you're not standing in front of me by the time I finish counting, you will not be going anywhere this weekend. You hear me, young man?
You are going to be grounded for 2 weeks, Brandon. I said it's 3 now, Brandon.
Brandon, I am so serious, Brandon.
Brandon has literally shimmied up a light pole. Like, he is clinging for dear life at the top of it.
He's trembling like a really small dog.
And meanwhile, back in the ring, what's happened actually is that this is Kenny's re-debut, and he has come back in a fury about what his lover Kota Ibushi has done in his absence. And so now Nick, Kenny, and Kota are having a 3-way singles match while Matt is trying to discipline Brandon by the concessions.
I mean, book it.
You are
The IWC would
embarrassing
never be happier.
This is supposed to be my big day, Brandon.
Big day.
I mean,
You're embarrassing me in front of the popcorn guy.
Brandon, there's 50,000 people here.
oh my God. This would sell 80,000 tickets, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, line would go up.
No question.
Line is shoot to the stars.
We cannot clip that for YouTube.
People would get so mad.
Let me hit
say
you guys
stuff.
with something.
Oh,
Tag team is called Neon Lovers.
Oh,
fuck yes.
Leah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny is gonna be so fucking mad. And actually, maybe, remember how Kenny was like, I don't think people need to kiss in wrestling? Well, now I am imagining a confrontation.
It's because he heard that Brandon and Kota are together, and he's like, I don't think there should be any kissing. I think there should be the opposite of kissing.
But I'm imagining that it's like Kenny is just like, what does he have that I don't? Does he make you happy? And Coda says, well, he's not afraid to kiss me in the ring. And then he lays it on Brandon. Brandon has finally been dragged back to the ring by Matt Jackson by the scruff of his neck. And he's just saying, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I couldn't control my body. And Matt says, I don't want to hear it right now. We'll talk about this on the plane ride home. So I think book it.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought you were gonna
sold.
I thought you were going to say something else, and now I can't. What is that show? What am I thinking of where it says, does he make you happy? And the girl
He
says,
doesn't make me
He doesn't
sad.
make me miserable? Yeah.
It's Ocean's 11, I think, right?
Yes, it's
That's
Julie
right.
Roberts and yeah.
That's right. That's what it is.
Does he make you laugh? He doesn't make me cry.
He doesn't make me cry, yeah.
He doesn't make me cry. Yeah, I thought you were going
Great
to say that where
delivery.
Kenny's like, Ibushi, does Brandon make you happy? And Ibushi says, he doesn't make me cry.
And Brandon is the one crying.
Brandon cries enough for both of us. Brandon's never been more stressed in his life. He just got chased around by Matt Jackson, and now Kenny is staring daggers at him. So
Meanwhile,
scared.
Ibushi has not realized that Brandon's like stressed out at all. Like, like to Ibushi, like they're riding a bicycle built for two around the ring.
He's like, my love for Brandon will always be strong for me. Brandon is keeled over, fetal position in the corner of the ring.
Brandon's like, I think I caught Kenny's diverticulitis.
Oh my god.
And I would book that over the acclaimed in FTR.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's getting
sold.
Booked to high heaven. Shall we do one more, two more?
One more.
One more
10
good
more?
one.
15 more? 20 more? Maybe?
One more.
Well, I think this is a good one, honestly. Because here I have Roosh and Orange Cassidy.
Oh.
I tried to book that last night.
Did you?
Bruce and Orange. Well, I guess
You booked it as like a singles match, but yeah.
Oh, you
But
did? Yeah. No, but they're...
Yeah, I'd love to see him tag. I think that'd be a real interesting...
Leah's eyes are
combination.
looking really big. She said, yes, please. Thank you.
When
Can I
I-
have another?
When I think about Roosh giving those like insane, sexual, powerful, fertile promos that I don't know what he's saying, and then I just
Fertile
picture
promos.
Orange Cassidy standing next to him, going, "Yeah." What he said, I feel happiness.
What
I do think Roosh could be good for Orange Cassidy right now while he's sinking into catatonic depression to kind of, externalize some more
Yes.
of what he's feeling.
Because
To me, like Roosh picks up.
has emotionally capable, like in a certain, like he's like, let's talk about it. That picture of him with his daughter where he's like, in the ring, I am a strong bull. Like, but if my daughter needs me to be like a
Princess or...
I don't like her sweet princess, like, then that's what I can be for her. And I'm thinking about him bringing that same energy to Orange Cassidy, where he's like, in the ring, I'm like, Orange Cassidy is just like, meh, meh, and he's like, listen to me, in the ring, we are strong bulls, but in this room, we can be vulnerable.
Yeah,
We can break.
we can
in
be.
my arms, you can break.
We can be soft. Here, we can let our guard down. We can show our bellies.
Imagine Orange Cassidy, how he would feel if someone other than Renee checked in on him from time to time.
Oh
If
my
Roosh was
God.
just like, hey, buddy, I noticed you seemed sad.
I think it would be really good for him, but then also, I think that sometimes, like, his vibe would be like, could we just, like, maybe play a video game and you, like, kind of call me, like, a mean nickname a little bit? That's kind of what I used to have. That's what I used to have with my friends, and
And
I like
I'm
Roosh.
sad.
Roosh is like, no, we're going to the woods to find a buffalo. Are the buffalo in the woods? No, famously they're in the plains.
I'd love to see Orange Cassidy just holding Roosh's sweet little daughter.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Why isn't Mark Briscoe handing that baby over to
my
Orange
God.
Cassidy?
We didn't talk about it on the podcast, but I was obsessed with that baby.
That baby was
That
like,
baby's vibe was very like, what is happening? I had been shaking around a lot. Like, I thought he was about to cry, but he sure didn't. He was good.
He sure didn't.
yeah. It was like a platonic ideal of a baby though, like perfectly round cheek.
Oh,
and, like,
so sweet.
little man
cartoon
head
baby.
shape.
Yeah.
A little man head, yeah.
Just looking like, where is this? Wow. Never happened to me before. But then there was that undercurrent of like, it's like, this man is shouting a lot. You're not surprised by that. It's like, shouting in a new environment is a little freaky, but
it's not the first time I've been held while he is fairly boisterous, you know? Just
yeah. A hold and holler.
But I do think if Orange Cassidy got handed that baby, that would be helpful to him. I think it'd be good for him.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see it.
I think, you know, it's like, does this fill me with like the intense passion of Brandon and Ibushi? No, but would I book it? Absolutely. Booked.
Yeah.
Let's put him in the ring.
Bucks versus Roosh and OC, yeah. I'm much happier than what the situation is currently.
That's a special horny match for girls that that many lesser developed minds could not appreciate the way that we could. I thought that was a great game.
Yeah, I think that we like made some good arguments here. And if Tony wants to fix his tag division, he'll take some of these.
Yeah. I hope he does. I'm like, we have to come back to this one because it's fun even to have the exercise of being like, okay, what will connect them? What do they have in common?
Yeah.
Not that we decided that like Roosh and Orange Cassidy had anything in common, but
I think we found some emotional truths, though.
We found some ways that they can, you know, every person is a puzzle piece, and you're just trying to find another puzzle piece that you fit together with, and I think we found that for them. On that note, I've been Allie.
I've been Ann.
And I've been Leah.
This is Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter and Tumblr, Tunnel Talk Pod, via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. You can also find us on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out some of the other great podcasts on the network. If any of the other podcasts on the network, by the way, want to do a question exchange, merely let us know. I don't think we had a question this week, but I know we will again.
Yeah.
You can also find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord, where we are routinely hanging out. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty. And as always, please, please, please come back next week.